there is a strange behavior to every car company. They does something to say that we really do care for the enthusiast. What they do is like the same commuter car with extra power and extra energy. Yes, you might have a doubt, like VRS in Skoda and AMG in Mercedes, and likewise M in BMW, a lot of things. Likewise, the same Americans did something to give us an immaculate behavior. What they do is they come with an S variant for every cars they do. So today we have Ford Fiesta S 1.6 DURATEC petrol engine, something which a rare car that you can find it right now. Some cars are gone but not forgotten, but this car is actually forgotten. So this is our channel. Welcome back to Nidhi's Garage. Welcome to Nidhi's Garage. Several times in the history, this giant got vanished and came back with more power. First, they showed up in 1970s and they got his first exit, and then they came back with more power in early 90s and they got their second exit, an official exit from the country on 2021. During those days, a lot of car companies were competing with the power, not on the features. Likewise, Ford has come with an immaculate design and such a good car in this S variant to our country, which is 1.6 S DURATEC petrol Ford Fiesta with us. Started its production on 2008, 1546cc of inline engine, 5-liter manual transmission with 430 liters of boot capacity, which priced 8 lakhs ex showroom back then. And this has a lot of features to discuss. Let's see it one by one. 4-cylinder DOHC engine that produces 101 brake horsepower, 146 Newton meters of torque, that does a top speed of 170 kilometers per hour, which does 0 to 100 in 11.43 seconds exactly. So back in 2008, we have a great history of doing 10.25 seconds in 90s itself. So 11.43 seconds is a piece of cake for us in 2008. So this car, why this car is so famous and so favorite in the enthusiast actually. So why? So a lot of why questions to answer. Let us see the specifications first. It has 4.9 meters of turning radius in the steering, and which is very long, and this car is huge in terms of dimensions, which is 4.6 meters of length and 1.6 meters of width and 1.4 meters of height. And this car is praised for its suspension setup and the chassis, and there were a lot of popular magazines which quoted this car is much better than the BMW's 3 Series, which set a very good benchmark in that variant actually. But still, because of its geometry, the steering geometry that we say, and because of the suspension setup where the Ford has planned to give it us, this car is actually very low in terms of ground clearance, which is lowered in comparing to the normal Fiesta, and that is why 1.6 is being special. Basic idea of this video is to know that there is a car like this in our country, and there was a car in our country, and a lot of proud owners should be still having this car, and there might be a lot of struggles and there might be a lot of questions to the owners particularly, or this car you might find it in the second-hand market. So the best one to answer is like, let us get to know from the owner directly. Come, let's go.
ക്ലച്ച് കിട്ടിയാലേ പറപ്പിക്കാൻ പറ്റും.
റെഡി
റെഡി പോവാം.
പോവാം. പയ്യൊക്കെ ഈസിയാണ് വണ്ടിക്ക്. 7000 RPM.
കട്ട് ഓഫ് ആവില്ല, VTEC മാതിരിയല്ല.
ഫസ്റ്റ് ഒരു ഇതിങ്ങനെ ടംബ്ലിംഗ് ഒക്കെ ആവും ചില. ഞാൻ ചോദ്യം ജയിക്കുന്നത് മറന്നു പോകും. ലെറ്റ് മീ എൻജോയ് ഫോർ സം ടൈം. Okay, so like something we should be knowing it directly from the owners. There will be a lot of why question and how questions. So let me introduce Mr. Subramanian with you. Like yes, and like what you're doing and what you're into.
I work as a data engineer for a US firm.
Okay.
I lead the data engineering team from India.
Okay. So like it's completely into data engineering and
no, it's actually a dental manufacturing firm.
Okay.
US.
Okay.
I'm a part of the data and analytics practice.
Okay. It's good to hear like a lot of data analysts are coming into
data analysis.
Yeah. Even I'm doing it.
Okay.
I said, you know.
Yeah.
Like yeah. Yes. Let me ask you some quick questions about this car. Like first question, like why Ford and why Ford 1.6 Fiesta?
I never had the Ford in my mind.
Okay.
I was more of a Fiat fan because my brother had the Fiat.
Okay.
I was in search of the Palio S10.
Palio S10. Okay.
That was
Fiat
my-
Palio one.
Yeah, Fiat Palio.
The yellow one. Right?
Yellow one. Such a technical design.
Okay.
But I could not find well-kept ones in the market.
Uh-huh.
And the ones that were kept were largely modded to the driver's taste.
Uh-huh.
And I don't like that. I typically
Yes.
like factory spec. And then began my hunt for the linear TJ. And I could not find any well-kept ones in the market either.
Okay.
Then I stumbled upon this one. And that's when I decided, okay, why not go for it?
Why not?
Yeah.
Definitely, we need something which comes from the
Yeah,
market.
but for me it has to be a driver's car.
Definitely.
That's my nature. For me, everything is secondary. First is safety. Second has to be a driver's car.
Driver's car. Like it should give you a feel that you are
Yeah.
driving a real one.
And I'm not a big fan of outright speed.
Okay.
A lot of folks kind of 180, 190. I don't like that. But for
Okay.
me, the fun is in how quickly the car can get to that speed.
Okay.
Through so Skoda or Volkswagen, the Ford is no match for that.
Okay.
In a straight line. But when you have a curve, that's when we overtake.
Yeah.
So largely in my highway drives, that's how I play to it. I play to my strengths, which is handling.
Okay, handling. That is how a well good car is built. That is why that is how we can judge its own build. No, like how fast it can go in the turning.
Yeah.
Like even that is why the Formula Ones are famous for.
Yeah. For me, it has to handle, be it a bike or a car.
Okay.
The brute force is not something I'm a big fan of.
Okay.
And you need to live with a car in the real world.
Uh-huh.
So that you also need to factor that into all your calculations.
It's good to know like you have you are a car guy. It's very the conversation itself would be very where eyes would be going shiner when we talk about cars. Yes. Okay, so that is why you went into Ford, and that's the story was very good one. And the second question I would like to know what is the one feature that you like about this car?
Oh, it revs freely. There's no cut off for the 7,000 RPM mark. You never feel anxious at any point in time.
Uh-huh.
It's largely sorted. The dynamics are well behaved. Any curve, anywhere. I mean, I can take the same curve at 120 as if I'm driving on a plane.
Okay.
That's where I love the car.
Okay.
There have been many instances where I wanted to kind of change the car, etc., etc.
Uh-huh.
But circumstances have so transpired that I've had the opportunity to take the car on the highway that particular day or the next day.
Uh-huh.
And that one drive would always seal it. I'll never give the car.
Never. This is mine. This would be mine at any cost. And then that is why this car was quoted it is better than BMW. And
It was actually called the poor man's BMW.
Poor man's BMW. Okay.
Yeah. It was called the poor man's BMW because the handling was on par with the 3 Series.
Yeah, the steering geometry and the chassis setup as well.
Chassis,
No?
You have a very minimal body roll in this car. The car really shines in the ghats and in the highways.
Does that dry clutch really help in the turnings also, or when you overtake and all, like this and the downshift? Is there any lag that you
There's no lag. Of course, you need to, there's no turbo, so you don't have to be in the turbo zone. That's the case. But that does not mean you can, kind of really slog the engine. Ford is not going to like that. It's a high revving petrol. You just have to treat it that way. Shift after 2000 RPM, preferably after 2500 RPM, and she's very happy.
You should definitely give a meat to a lion always, no? Like, or else the lion will eat you at one stage. Okay. Yes. And why petrol and why not diesel? Have you ever not a big fan of diesel, or why petrol?
No, I love the free revving nature of petrol cars. That's the first and foremost important thing. I love the way the petrol cars would drive. Mileage was not really in my consideration because I love to drive.
Car guys definitely will not be focusing on mileage. Why mileage?
Of course, sometimes you do see, okay, what have you got, but that's not really been a factor. For me, the fact is, that does not mean I drive fast all the time. I like a calm and composed drive. But if I need to go fast, I must be able to go fast. I don't think diesel engines are going to give you that. Unless and otherwise you have the
powerful one.
The 1.6 multi-jet and stuff after that.
1.9, 2 liter.
1.9, 2 and stuff.
And that is something different.
They're in a different league altogether. We're talking about cars of different class, different segments, and I'm not in for that.
And 1.6, even if it is very old car, 2003 or 2002, I have reviewed 1.6 one Hyundai Ascent V-Bus model. That even does 160, 117 nowadays. The back then, it is something that which is very new to the drivers. Like now, people are coming up with a lot of features to be offering. They are offering a lot of features in the car. Or back then, we have so much of power. Let's compete with the power. No, that is how the manufacturers were there was those days. Now things were changed.
Yeah.
And that's good to know, why petrol was the favorite one. What is the top speed that you have done on this car?
I think I've done 160. That's a max.
160 max. After that, is there any struggle in the car?
I have never felt confident. Not in this car, in any car.
Okay.
Be it whatever road conditions, unless you're on a track.
Okay.
Beyond that, I have never felt comfortable.
Okay.
The main reason is the Fiesta does not have a very strong brake.
Okay.
And unless you can be extremely confident of your stopping capability, I don't think you should venture beyond that.
Beyond that, okay. That is a good piece of advice to new youngsters, no? When they
even at 160, there's no guarantee that's going to stop.
Yes, correct.
So I would say don't push your limits.
Unless and until you are in a track.
Yeah, unless and until you are in a track.
Yeah, that's a good piece of advice, I would say. And what is the mileage that you're getting?
In city, I think I've driven it in all possible ways. Okay, kind of drive it steadily, drive it fast. It does not give anything beyond 10. So 10 is the best you can give in city.
10 is the best.
10 is the best you can give in city. It's largely sorted between 9 to 10.
On the highway,
highway, depending on even if you have a full load and you're always on with AC, it will still manage straight
to go.
You can manage somewhere around say 13 to 14. That's a realistic
13 to 14. Even if they offer 15.
That again you'll have to kind of. I do have friends who get somewhere around 17 to 18.
17 to 18.
But again, you'll have to cruise at 80. You don't want to cruise at 80 in those cars.
Okay, definitely. The car will ask you, what are you doing?
And because when there is a curve and you see a Polo or a Rapid, you want to give them a run for the money.
It will definitely trigger you, let me show you what I am capable of.
You want to give them a run for their money.
Okay, you're knocking the wrong nerves. This is not a normal one. This is a sleeper car under my hood. Okay, and that's what is the one feature that you were not aware when you were buying this car?
There were several small features which really surprised me. That this car came with all those features back in 2008. So for example, simple one is you leave the headlights on and you turn off the engine and you open the door. You'll have a beep.
Okay.
Reminding you that you've not turned off the headlights.
Okay.
So several small ones like this which are very well thought of.
And that too in the price range.
For this price range, and in 2008, I felt so small ones, but definitely they do, kind of, you tend to remember those pictures.
Yes, it's kind of safety thing that they reminds the owners, no?
Yeah.
Yes, like, and it is also a logical term that manufacturers had thought about.
Yeah, a lot of things like that.
Yeah. And like owning a kind of mass market like sports car, like it is not much very for like powerful sports car, but still it is not easier to maintain it also. Like how much is the maintenance that you are facing this car, like, or how much
typical maintenance, if you're not looking at changing the parts, you don't have any breakdown failures, etc. I believe a typical maintenance would cost you anywhere between 6,000 to 8,000.
6,000 to 8,000 for a periodical, right?
For a periodical maintenance.
Okay. 6,000 to 8,000. How much kilometers?
That's once in 10,000 kilometers.
Once in 10,000, 6,000 to 8,000.
10,000 is a cycle here for this car.
10,000.
Once in 10,000.
Yeah, Germans are usually do 15,000.
Yes.
So that maintaining is all. It's for someone who is like having a normal car, who's doing not a very good powerful car, and someone who's coming into this kind of cars, so they can also maintain it.
It shouldn't be a big deal. Ford is known to kind of give cars that is meant for the mass market, and Fiesta is definitely one of them.
Okay.
It was not a car that was meant only for a few select who had a lot of money. It was meant to be a mass market car. The 1.6 Sports was just an enhancement. It's not a significant deviation, like, apart from the suspension, the steering rack, etc., etc. It was not a significant deviation from the normal Fiesta. So it's not very harsh on the pocket.
Okay. But there is a huge difference between the normal Fiesta and this one, no?
There is, in terms of the parts. That is in terms of the steering rack, the suspension, the bigger wheel size. That the ECU tuning is slightly different for the AS.
Okay.
So those things are there, but they are not that different for you to incur a recurring cost in terms of periodical maintenance.
Okay. That is actually good. Like another question I would like to ask you. Is there any difficulties in getting the OG parts or something like that?
The last 2 years, things have started to get difficult. Okay. It was not as difficult prior to 2021. Okay. But Ford's exit has definitely made things a little difficult. For example, if I take it to the service center for any part replacement, there's a good chance that the service center guys would kind of put your VIN and get you a matching Ford Fiesta part, but not necessarily the 1.6S part. Because the S shares a lot of things with the SX side, 1.6 SX side. Okay. Even not a lot of the service center guys know that. For example, the classic case is the suspension. If you go for a suspension change, there's a very good chance that you'll walk away with the SXI suspension unless you're specific about what part you exactly want. You take the pain to put your VIN into the Ford's service system, get your matching part number, and then ask the service center guys to source it. So those kind of things are there. But yes, getting parts for the last 2 years has started to get difficult. I do have some wiring issues, but wiring harness for this car is not available in entire India for this model. Okay. So yes, some niggling issues are definitely there.
Like sometimes even the manufacturer is present in the country itself, it's very difficult.
Yeah, it is
to get some parts.
And if a model is finished, you can't expect you can't expect the manufacturer to supply every single part. That's not going to happen.
Okay. The model itself is
okay. Lot major parts, yes, you will have, but small ones you will not have.
What is the big problem that you have faced in this car so far?
I had a fuel pump failure last time.
Okay.
I was doing around 90-95 kilometers per hour. Okay. Suddenly the car turned off. Okay. It was highways. Okay. I didn't know what it was. Somehow managed to reach home, but it was a fuel pump failure. Okay. I think there's ethanol blending. There's a biggest culprit. It's a real fact.
Yes. Like some petrol pumps, even they do mix water with it, and that
it's a big problem. 2 weeks back we have had this 20% ethanol blending. I don't this 10% fuel efficiency drop after this ethanol blending is a classic observation that I have as well. Because all my fuel fill-ups are all documented. I have a log of everything.
Okay.
So I would say from the last 1 year, I'm seeing a 10% to 15% drop in the fuel efficiency. Classic.
Okay.
I was constantly getting 10 plus in Chennai city because I was working there.
Okay.
Last 1 year, I'm not able to do it at all. So, but the biggest problem I had is a fuel pump failure. I was so pissed off. That's actually the only time that I wanted to sell the car. Because I was with my family, my 2 young kids were there. It was a very frightening moment.
Yes, sure. Like that is actually a major problem. It's like the car started smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
If it doesn't take well and it comes out of everything, like it's like nobody to like blame. No?
Yeah.
Hard things like that is hard times for like every car person. Like it makes us sometimes it gives more.
I mean, the small niggles you can live with.
Yes.
As long as it doesn't break down in a big way, especially on the highway. City breakdowns are still livable with. If you have a breakdown on the highway, it's very difficult.
Correct.
That's when you start doubting, whether you still want to have it, etc.
Like are we on the right track with that car? Like okay.
Because for me, fun also needs to be coupled with practicality.
Yeah, correct.
Because I'm not somebody who can go to the track every day. I have a job and I have a family. So my sort of fun is in whatever small way I can enjoy the car.
At times it hits the reality also.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay, like how long do you own this vehicle and how much do you have run it for? Like?
I have this from 2016 June.
Okay.
July. 2016 July.
Okay. And what is the story behind it? How from where?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking for a well-maintained Palio S10.
Like that we had a discussion.
Yeah, I never found it. Then I came across this.
Like where did you find this one?
I some ad in OLX. It was maintained by a famous electrician businessman in Madras.
Okay.
Who have all their cars as 0 to fleet.
Okay.
So they have at least 7 or 8 cars parked in their house at all time.
Okay.
And all of them will be 0 to fleet.
Okay.
I saw this car. It was not in the best maintained shape because it was largely a driver maintained car.
Okay.
But of course, spotting a 1.6S, especially in the Aquarius Blue, is a rare thing. It's a rare thing. So I took it, and there was a lot of rusts. I fixed all of them.
Okay. And that too from Chennai, no?
Yeah, Madras.
Typical Chennai car.
We can't do anything.
Like,
so and I've clocked somewhere around. When I took it, it was around 60,000 kilometers run.
How much is now?
1 lakh.
1 lakh. So car has started providing, like giving its own symptoms that I'm getting age, no?
No, it does not. I mean, as long as I'm somebody who do preventive maintenance. I don't do reactive maintenance.
Okay.
So, and as long as you can do that, it's okay. But fuel pumps issues are all not something that you can do preventive maintenance because you don't know.
We don't expect, no? Like
so
sometimes
any other mechanical, any mechanical fixes I would do. When I got it, suspensions are all good, but I still changed it. Timing belt.
Okay. All that has changed when you got it itself.
I drove it for around 5,000 kilometers and then went ahead for the preventive maintenance and changed it.
And that is how we should be, no? Like
I like to keep my cars in decent shape. Mechanically, at least. Even if you can't necessarily do justice cosmetically, at least mechanically, I really want to keep my cars in good shape.
My car can go anywhere at any time. It is really proud to say like that. Like at any time when we have a car, like my car I can take it at anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I had a Polo.
Okay.
I bought a new Polo in 2015. And then I had some financial problem and I had to sell it off.
Okay.
I had it for less than 10 months.
Okay.
And I sold it off in 2016 May.
Okay.
And I got this in 2016 July.
Okay.
Those 2 months, the most depressing part of my life. I could not live without a car. I'm honestly saying, it's not an exaggeration or anything. It was
correct.
Your life felt such a huge void without a car.
Definitely. And sometimes it is actually providing us kind of status, no? Like someone in the crowd, like
my father always had cars.
Okay.
Always had a
someone mentions your name, like they'll firstly tell you vehicle's name. definitely. Someone who has this Ford
Even in office, all of them know me by my car.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. My office, they know about my bike
Channel,
only. Bike,
okay.
channel, and the cars that I own. That is how it is.
My friends typically know me by the cars that I have.
Okay. And and some question that I would like to know is like how many Fiesta SS are there in the city though?
There were quite a few.
Okay.
At least a couple of years ago, there were 7-8 years. There were at least 5 or 6 in our group, the Fiesta group, WhatsApp group. But now I believe there are only 2 or 3.
2 or 3 in the city now.
As far as my knowledge goes, but there could be more.
Okay.
There could be more. But in my circle, there's only 2 or 3.
Okay. And the last question that I would like to ask.
Yeah.
Will you sell this car?
Selling is a very the thought of selling it is a very depressing thing for me. It's a very depressing thing for me. There's no way I can sell this. I have a Fiat Linea T-Jet, but this car is something special.
Protect at all costs.
Yeah, protect it at all costs, maintain it at all costs. As long as government can renew the FC, just keep renewing it and keep driving it. As long as there's petrol, you can keep.
What would be like when government says like scrap it?
See, it's a very difficult moment. When Ford left the country 2 years before, it was a very difficult moment for all of us.
Yes.
I don't know, but as long as I am there, I'll have the car. That's a guarantee.
Is there any idea like to frame it in the
I'm a practical person.
No,
not very I like it because of its practicality. This can actually be a very good people mover. 3 people can sit very comfortably in it. It's not a big deal at all.
Yes, like I do see the seats also. Like it is very comfortable when I sit here also. Like,
3 people can sit quite comfortably. My family has done innumerable number of trips to Chennai and all parts of, most of South India.
Okay.
We have done in this car. It's not just an enthusiast car. It's a very practical car. That's the reason I love the car more. Because if it's just for me, then I would be largely limited in terms of I would be largely constrained by time, money, and resources. But since I can have my family in this car all the time without breaking their back, I can have decent fun also. So it's not a car that you want to park with. It's a very practical car. Ford is a very practical car. Not like the usual Hyundais and whatever. It's a very practical car, safe.
And they do also know after Suzuki and all, they do know the pulse of the Indian market. But
Ford is a very, I don't know why they left. But
yes.
Of course, when you see the numbers, there is justifiable reason as to why Ford left. But you don't know. So it was a very heartbreaking moment for a lot of the enthusiasts.
Correct.
As long as they were there,
even I too dreamed of they announcing they are coming up back with saying like Ford Fiesta sports variant in the global version. Yeah. That is coming up.
My brother has the global Fiesta.
Okay.
So I bought that car as well for him.
Okay.
That's a brilliant car. That if you asked me an early question, right? Why not a diesel? Why a petrol? If it's a diesel, it would be that car.
The Ken Block's one.
Yeah, it's a brilliant car.
Brilliant car.
It handles brilliantly.
I think I really had a doubt like that car has a split torque conversion where it can produce separate torque to each and wheels. And because is that car is that a rear wheel drive or front wheel drive?
It's a front wheel drive.
But it drifts very comfortably. Like I have seen videos like where it drifts. Even Ken Block had that car. Like a lot of people.
It's a very nice car.
Yeah.
It's a very nice car. I would say this the sports variant does everything with a lot of fuss, a lot of drama and stuff. But that car is like it'll do the same thing without any drama, no fuss. Brilliant car, very good fuel economy. It's a very good car. But of course, the rear bench space was not very spacious. Your under thigh support was not that great. Probably one of the reasons why. And I think when it was launched, it was ridiculously overpriced in comparison to the city. I think it was costlier than the city.
Okay.
And the city is like kind of the benchmark for that segment car. So there is a
even
reason.
Now it has very less price.
Yeah, in this used car market, it's very less.
Even the new one is 15 to 17 lakhs.
Yeah.
If you go to the same spec car with the Virtues and all, it costs nearly 22 lakhs.
I don't know how people are buying. I see a lot more Virtues on the flatbed than on anything else. How many Virtues are there in the flatbed? I think in the last 4 months, I would have seen at least 7 or 8 cars.
Okay.
7 or 8 virtues in the flatbed. And today's Volkswagen interior quality is no match to what they had probably 7, 8. Because I had the Polo in 2015. It was a brilliant car. It was a nice car.
Even 2015, 2014, and our Polo Jetta. The car
nice.
that
the
does
interior
anything.
quality was very good. I mean, even now the paint quality of Volkswagen, there's no match. I don't think any mass market manufacturer in India gives you the paint quality of Volkswagen. Nobody does that. But their interiors are all a large letdown. Breakdowns are happening every now and then. That's not something that you expect on a 20 lakh, 20 plus lakh.
Correct.
You're not selling it for 7 or 8 lakhs.
Last question.
Yeah.
How much rating would you give to this car in 0 to 10?
I would rate it 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Best car.
This is the best car.
For me, I mean, if you don't buy a BMW, you buy a Fiesta.
Okay.
That's how I would say. That's how I would call it.
Buy this.
Yeah. If you can't buy the BMW, at least the 3 Series, the next best alternative is
This one.
Okay.
And I would like to thank you for investing your time with us.
No problem.
It's very pleasure to have you with us.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.